We are back. The Detroit Red Wings are back. And following what can only be described as a frankly horrific loss to Columbus, losing 4 straight games after winning the first 2 of our first round matchup, what comes next is certainly completely undecided. I have no idea what this team is going to look like heading into this next season because, again, we don't really expect the draft to be all that kind to us, so we continue on with the same core of players that have made the playoffs 2 years in a row, which is very promising, but beyond that, have not accomplished anything. We are stuck with a goaltending tandem that cannot be trusted. Howard Lowe, in particular, cannot be trusted, as, you know, last year in the playoffs wasn't so great, so we trust Tristan Lennox this year. That didn't go well. Defensively, the lack of improvements from our prospects and really just the lack of acquiring prospects in general continues to be an issue. Yes, Columbus did just make it all the way to the Stanley Cup final before losing, but that doesn't make me feel any better, if I'm being honest. It's tough going right now. It really is. Hopefully, by the end of this episode, we have a little bit more optimism and can have a little bit more faith in this team that things are going to work out for us because, again, genuinely, I don't know for sure if they will. And it's tough because, again, you have 2 very solid seasons for a team that's built in this fashion, but it's just not enough. And there's always that concern, was this our last chance? And there is a decent shot of that. You know, if certain players, start to regress, or if our luck really starts to just fall off, there's a chance we can never make it back. Now, I'm not expecting that to happen. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, and that we're just able to make the most of this year, and hopefully get back to the playoffs and maybe find success. But again, time will tell. We have a long way to go before we get to worry about next April, as John Gibson retires as a free agent. So with that, we move ahead to the draft, and again, not expecting much to happen here for our team. We'll take a look, though, yet again at what the list looks like. Of course, we don't trade up at all, so hey, we'll see what we can do. Of course, there were no top players available. And if anything, the top player available to us is Rudy Hallweg still, or Zach Payer. And we'll see which one of the two has the better looking attributes in a moment. Aside from that, defenseman Clinton Steos, I expect him to be, a medium top 6 if we're lucky. It's rough. It's very rough. So we have the 23rd overall pick, the top player in the draft, Lombardi, franchise level player, to Colorado, so they get a pretty big boost there. And again, we'll be going with one of 2 medium top 9 players, presumably. Hopefully medium top 6 in Hallweg. Good shooting category for him. Not much else is that great. I don't believe that ETA. And then there's Zach Payer. Yeah, we'll be going. I know we're Detroit and he has a Zetterberg comparison. We gotta aim higher than that. So we'll be taking Rudy Hallweg from the Flint Firebirds with our first round pick. He is a medium top 9. Ugh. Oh boy. Well, remember what I said about needing to have a little bit of faith in the core that we already have. That's our only option. They have to carry us to victory, or it's just never going to happen. Second round pick, Clinton Steos from the Saginaw Spirit is the pick. Apparently good shooting in a good physical category, near 3-year ETA. Let's see what he is. He is a low top 4, which is fine, I guess. Could have been a medium 7th. Could have been worse, certainly. Let's see who's next here. 3rd round, a little bit of uncharted territory. Hello. So Rod Lankow, he's an overager, which is scary, despite the fact he could be a medium elite. There's Ross Neuendijk, also an overager, 4-year ETA. Or there's another goaltender in Braden Bobolev, who is 18, 5-year ETA. Oof, we have to make the right choice here. Bobolev, in theory, is the right choice. because he's at least younger and has time to develop. But obviously you look at Langkow and you want to hope for the best. I can't help but think he's going to be a medium fringe. And then there's Newendijk, who's going to have way too low of an overall to ever become an effective player at the NHL level. Let's go for Langkow and hope for the best here. Rod Langkow is a medium elite, but he is only a 58 overall at 20 years old. So a bittersweet selection there, as we don't know if he'll ever actually develop for us. And looking here at the other options that we had available to us, if we can find them. They went later on in the 4th round. I thought that said franchise for a second. I skipped way too quickly. Newendijk was a medium top 6. And the other goaltender, Bobolev, is actually still going to be available to us here. So we can go 2-for-1 special in terms of picking up goaltenders. Works for me. How I wish Larry Austin from the Niagara Ice Dogs was available. We will take Braden Bobolev with this selection. I'm expecting fringe. And there you go. Medium fringe. So 2 goaltenders, who have an outside shot of making it. I can't say, picking up goaltenders is the worst thing for us right now. Again, don't really have faith in the 2 that we have at the moment. And now seeing who we have available here, Caleb Bigras is the next pick, and beyond that, it's just going to be shot in the dark. So, decent point total for the 19-year-old. The stats, though, are pretty rough. So, Caleb Bigras is a medium bottom 6. In fairness, this draft is going a little bit better than some of the other drafts that we've had in this series, so I can't be all that upset. Next up is going to be... I didn't even look at the 300, so Camden McTaggart, another goaltender, is the best player right now. Or you have Pablo Shore from the Sioux. Oh God! Here, what if I just search this way? I guess we're gonna go. I mean, these are all the pinned players that we have. A lot of overage goalies, apparently. So we'll take Creamer, we'll take Jang out of the list. Rudy Mann, great name. I mean, they're all overagers, really. Except for Gavin Parker. I mean... We'll take Camden McTaggart, great name. And he is a medium backup. And then we'll take Pablo Shore in the 7th round. Who is hardly a sure thing. Oh, God. Pablo, welcome aboard. Medium 9 if I'm lucky. Low top 9 grinder. That sounds about right. So, all in all, a draft where we do not get anything close to a sure thing, which sounds about right given my luck lately. We still struggle to bring in any form of defensive help, which certainly doesn't help. And we have a decent amount of the coaching staff issues to worry about here as well. So, let's go ahead and see what the resign phase is going to look like. And it's going to be expensive is what it's going to look like. Now, we do have to sign Morgan. Forget your first name. Alan Morgan. 2nd round pick 2 years ago now. We will go ahead and sign him to his ELC. So he is going to be the 1-2 punch in goal alongside Baldwin. So I hate to say it, but Torres and Sampson are just going to be dropped. There's really no reason to keep Sampson. He's not going to get that much better. So Chase Sampson, 4th round pick back in 2027, just never really developed. We are just going to outright drop you. And a big disappointment is Gene Torres, 2nd round pick in 2026. He just never really developed either as a medium starter. We're going to go ahead and release him. So Tristan Lennox and Howard Lowe will be brought back. We'll just go ahead and sign Lennox to that. And Howard Lowe isn't looking for much money either, nor should he be. Defensively, of course, Drysdale's contract will handle last. Matthew Bales, I'm going to try to save at least a little bit of money. I don't think he'll accept that, but it's worth a shot. Delmas, we will qualify. And again, try to save a little bit of money on him as well. Eddie McGrath will bring back. Try to save a tiny bit of money there. Edgar Sasaki, we might as well bring back as well. So from there we have our 3, 4, 5, and 6 potentially, and then 1, 2, 3. Ooh, hold on. We need to see what prospects might be worth signing. Buyers, I mean, Jesus. 5th round pick. You are the furthest away from ever being signed. You're off the team. Saad, Griffin Saad. You're a Saad excuse for a player. 6th round pick. You are also gone. Then we have Sheldon Reich, which I can't help but think he's not going to develop either. So, former 7th rounder. He is on the way out. Then there's also Armstrong, 4th round pick way back in 2025, 8 years ago at this stage. He is out. We will be signing Adam McGinnis, who was a 9th overall pick a couple years ago. Not expecting him to ever make it, but we'll go ahead and sign him. There's also Van Kadishin, who's at least worth keeping. 4th round pick 2 years ago. He's now 22, for God's sake. Somehow was still junior eligible. Maxwell, we are probably going to drop. Let me get the count here for the defenseman that we have. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh boy. Who are we dropping? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We really don't need any of these players that are left. We really don't. There's just no room for him at this point, aside from just holding on to extra defensemen. So, hate to say it, Colin Maxwell, 3rd round pick in 2027, will be dropped. I'm just going to outright release them instead of just waiting. Former number 1 overall pick, Nick Stock, is gone. How many games at the NHL level did Nick Stock play? 328, but he spent the last 5 seasons in the AHL. Nick Stock might be the worst number 1 overall pick of all time. There is Cody LaCosta, who has also played at the NHL level at times. 3rd round pick in 2025. He is now gone. We also have Mason Cutler, 2nd round pick in 2027. We're going to let him go. And last but not least, Jesse Anderson, who was a low elite at one point and just could not make it to that next level. He's going to be gone as well. I accidentally skipped a day. So Morgan signs, McInnes, Bales, Lennox rejected, Lowe signs, Sasaki, McGrath rejected, Delmas signs, Van Kadishin signs. So we are going to drop Mr. Anderson. And this one hurts. Marcus Gretz, 2020 draft, 2nd round pick. After 13 years, Marcus Gretz is off of this team. As sad as that is. Now, McGrath says he doesn't want to re-sign. Call it a hunch. I think when I pay him a little bit more money, he is going to have no issue with coming back. And the same goes for one Tristan Lennox. Of course, we pretty much have the money to sign whoever we want. For the wingers, oh boy, I guess just forwards in general. Obviously, Lehman needs to be signed. He is the top priority here. It was still a miracle that we ended up with him when we did. And in terms of the 85% trick, we're looking at basically $6.2 million for him, which hopefully that ends up working. Now, I said we have all the money in the world. Apparently we don't. But in theory, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's, man, Ooh, early morning recording. We have 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Of course, no injuries on. So in the AHL is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 with Pusher. So in terms of who we can potentially sign here, Cousineau is going to be dropped. 6th round pick 2 years ago. No reason to sign him. I will sign Steve Gilbert, 3rd round pick 2 years ago. No faith that he's really going to make it, but we'll go ahead and sign him. So from here, let's sign who we need to make sure that we sign. Isaiah Terrell, I'm going to prioritize you really quickly. Let's hope you go ahead and sign that. And from there, it's just a whole bunch of like, yeah, this, these players don't really kind of matter. Recchi needs a deal. We'll try to get him at $4 million for the next 2 years. Reed Neal. Oh boy, let's try to go 6.25 for the next 2 years. DeAndre Carlton. Whew, $7 million. for the next season. Cameron Merritt. Oh boy, wants a big boy deal. $7 million for the next 6 years. Seems fine by me. And we'll advance a day. So let's hope all these go through. Lehman signs, Neal signs, Gilbert signs, Recchi, Terrell, Carlton, Lennox, Merritt rejects, McGrath rejects again. For some reason, he is being incredibly difficult. And I don't really get as to why. We've given him plenty of chances. He's been on the NHL defense for the past few seasons. Let's look at the forwards again here. So, Cameron Merritt. We still need to look to try to re-sign you. We'll go 7.5 for the next 6 years. Hayden Fowler needs to be brought back, as does Harvey Brennan, crucial member of the bottom 6. Let's see what happens with those offers. So Fowler resigns, Brennan rejects, Merritt resigns, McGrath resigns. Okay, so at least for goaltending and for the defense, aside from Jamie Drysdale, who will get whatever's left in the budget, we're good to go. So again, we have 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So Brennan, we need to send more money to. McCauley, we're going to sign you as well. No reason to not bring back Pinot. I want to save a tiny bit of money there if we can. Comrie's not that great, but can at least fill in the AHL. Let's see what happens with these deals. Comrie signs, Pinot signs, McCauley rejects, Brennan rejects. Son of a bitch. There's really no reason for Brennan and McCauley to be this frustrating to deal with, I'm going to say. McCauley. Just go ahead and offer you the max two-way deal, which is now $1 million. And Shepard. Feels like Shepard's been on this team for a lot longer than just like, oh, he's 28 at this point. See, Shepard signs, McCauley signs, Brennan signs. Beautiful. Goaltending good. Defense good, aside from Drysdale. And then forward-wise, I think we're good. It's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. AHL is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just really got to sign Kunitz. That's it. And you could argue we don't even need Kunitz. Actually, we don't need Kunitz. Maxwell Kunitz, 7th round pick in 2026, will be dropped. And we are going to send Jamie Drysdale the mythical, magical $20 million a year. He gets whatever money is left over in the budget. A little bit under $20 million a year. This is it, though. We need him to sign. We left it down to the final day. Drysdale is back. I'd go into free agency to re-sign him anyway, let's be honest. So, a lot of staff work to do. But the team is at least intact and ready to go for next season, despite the fact that they are basically the same thing that they've always been. So what we'll do is we'll jump cut ahead. We'll have the coaching staff completely set up and the team good to go to at least get you guys a look at what next season could bring. All right, so the team is set up, and I wish I could say there's some new exciting developments. There isn't. It's the same exact team that you would expect to see at this point, although you might notice some slight chemistry differences. That is because I did change up the coaching. That is the big change for this season, aside from, say, William McCauley being back in the lineup on the 4th line. So, same team that you would expect at this point in time. Hopefully, Howard Lowe and Tristan Lennox can get it together. The big thing, though, like I said, is the coaching, and of course, whether or not there will be anybody in the draft. We'll take a look at that in a second, but indeed now for the coaching staff. Therrien has been sent down to the AHL, and we have brought on Milroy, who is slightly better suited for this team. 83% staff chemistry. Will that mean anything? Probably not, but we're going to try, hopefully. So, Brulliette and Weissmuller here as well. So, excited to see what this team can do. It's one hell of a coaching staff. That's pretty much all I can say. It's as top-notch, almost as top-notch can be. We'll see if it works out for us. The big question, as always, the draft. If we were to fail, is there somebody who can save the day? Unfortunately, Dirksen is not that. Skylar Marsh is. However, confirmed high top 4, top 5 pick. Skylar Marsh will not be a member of the Detroit Red Wings. The Barrie Colts, not an eligible team for us. Sudbury, Peterborough. Oh god, this is already depressing. Finally we get another player. 51st, Fabian Nystrom is going to be the top player that we can draft here. How I wish we had the Barrie Colts available to us at this point in time. We don't. See, here's the issue. We've already added in more teams, and it's not as if it's made a major difference for us. It really hasn't. This is going to be a brutal draft. Absolutely brutal. It's not even really worth looking any further down the line here. Okay, maybe it is with Mike Eel. Okay, if you put an E before an A in the name Michael, you hate your kid. I'm just saying that. Why it's even a name in this game, I don't know. EA perpetuating horrible Michael stereotypes, and I don't like it. Sioux Greyhounds, Asher Recchi, Ottawa, Saginaw. Okay, so middle of the pack picks, there are options at least. I'll give this draft that. We're at least going to hopefully be able to get a steal or two a little bit later on here. But all in all, it's still a little bit shaky, if we're being honest here. So we'll see what happens. Of course, mainly have our sights set on what's going to happen in this upcoming season. Will that coaching change prove to be the difference maker that we desperately need? I certainly hope so. The grades are okay, but is that going to be enough? I don't know. Franchise mode's weird. We'll see if it works out for us. I'm not holding my breath, if I'm being honest. God, we're going to lose again.